What's going on, gamers? It's your boy Diggs Gaming, and Off Hunting's officially back with its gaming news. Now, I'm by myself tonight. However, I hope to get the guys involved next week. But there's a good amount to talk about, and we're going to start with what Xbox is up to. Earlier in the week, journalists had been hearing that Xbox was going to be doing its own kind of showcase event, like how Nintendo has the Nintendo Direct and PlayStation has the State of Play. Well, that turned out to be true. They're calling it Developer Direct. It's happening on January 25th. And games that are going to be shown off include Redfall, Forza Motorsport, Minecraft Legends, and others. Also, Starfield is going to be getting its own showcase. Not sure when that's coming out yet, but that is in the works. Now, I'm going to start with the Developer Direct, and it's not a shock. Anybody that's surprised by this, you really shouldn't be. Again, you have Nintendo and PlayStation that does this, so it's not a shock that Xbox decided to jump on the bandwagon for this. And the games that they are going to be showing off, the few that we've heard of, these are hype games that people just cannot wait to see more of. So it's a good thing that they decided to do this for the first time, that for their first real event for 2023. Now, only thing I'm going to say is let's just have some tempered expectations for this. We've seen Nintendo and PlayStation have some hits. They have some misses with these type of things. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Just have tempered expectations and be excited for the games that we've seen that are going to be shown off. And hopefully they have some surprises in store. Now, for the Starfield showcase, Starfield, with how big it is and really with how much it's being hyped, again, this is Todd Howard's first game since Fallout 4. So, of course, there's going to be hype around it. And, of course, it's going to have a showcase all to itself. And just how big the game is. I don't mean in terms of how hyped it is. I mean how big the game is. This is a giant game that is in development right now. And with this showcase, we're probably going to get an official release date for Starfield, a new release date for Starfield. Remember, it did get delayed from last year to this year. And I know I haven't been the biggest fan of Starfield, but it's only because I'm just a little scared about how big it is. It sounds like a very ambitious game. I mean, I can't even remember how many planets you can explore in this game, but I remember that it's a lot. And I know Todd Howard, great developer. His games, of course, deserve all the hype that they get. However, I just don't want people to get too disappointed if the game doesn't meet the giant expectations that you have for it. Remember, it is a new IP, and sometimes those can have a bumpy start. So with Starfield, I am excited to see more of this game, and hopefully that can get some of the hype back up for some people that have lost some of it after the first gameplay reveal. I know some people lost some hype for that game, so hopefully that can get it back up. But I have nothing against Starfield, and I want this game to be successful. I really do. I just am a little scared about how big this is going to be. That's why I just keep saying I'm not too sure about it just yet. But this is a great chance for Bethesda and Microsoft to show just how good this game can be at launch. Next up, some former developers from Playground Games have formed a new studio, which they are calling Maverick Games. The studio is being led by the former creative director of the Forza Horizon franchise, Mike Brown. Right now, the studio is at 10 employees. That includes Brown and a few other veterans from Playground Games. They aim to grow to 140, and they are planning to work on open world premium AAA games for consoles and PC. In an interview with GamesIndustry.biz, Brown said, in 2021, we shipped Forza Horizon 5, which was a thrill to work on. As much as I had an amazing journey at Playground, I was asking myself, what's next? Do I stick with this fun, good job, or do I look for other opportunities? This opportunity came up. I was asked what my vision would be for a new studio, and it was lucky I had an idea in mind. And very good for Brown to create his own studio. And I love it when we see veterans that did wonderful things at a studio and they decide to open up their own, lead it, and make the games that they want to create. And again, we're talking the Forza franchise, and say what you want about racing games, but the Forza franchise has just been a wonderful franchise for Microsoft. Their games are of the utmost quality. Maverick Games is definitely a studio to keep an eye on. It's going to be a while before we see anything from them, but when we do finally see something, it's going to be something to watch. Next up, an update from Microsoft's purchase of Activision Blizzard. As we all know, the FTC has filed a lawsuit to try to stop the purchase from happening, and Sony has been the one to express its concerns about this purchase because, of course, they're console competitors. But you also have Google and Nevada also expressing concerns about this purchase. Now, this has more to do with the cloud side of it, which backs a key FTC contention. Microsoft could gain an unfair advantage in the market for cloud subscription and mobile gaming, which it is a big part of gaming and it is something that has to be looked at. Now, whether this does create an unfair advantage, I don't know. I can't say whether it does or not. It's not just the fact that it's Call of Duty. I mean, King is one of the best mobile developers out there. So this is a big part of it. Whether it's enough to really get this blocked, I don't think so. I think this purchase is going to go through no matter what, but it's just going to take longer than we all expected. And that's all I'm really have to say on this. Next up, we got our first reviews from The Last of Us TV show. And to no one's surprise, really, it's amazing. Rotten Tomatoes currently has it at a 98%. And that is rare to see something like that. And this doesn't really surprise me because going into this, you could see that it was being made at the utmost quality. Again, I'm just not shocked by this one bit. And I don't have HBO, so I'm not going to have a chance to watch it. But those of you that do and that are interested in the show, definitely give it a watch. I believe the first episode's coming out really soon. And this is one where I cannot wait to see what people say about this show. And I'm not shocked that it's reviewing as well as it is, because this game was really, it just seemed like it was made for TV, if I'm being quite honest. The story is one of the best in video game history. And yeah, I'm happy to see that the TV show was being done the right way. Next up, the current lead gameplay designer for Ubisoft Massive, formerly of DICE, worked on games like Battlefield and Mirror's Edge, Frederick Thaymaker, has stated a rather interesting opinion about achievements and trophies. And he said this in a tweet. Unpopular opinion, achievements/trophies have been bad for gaming. It narrows games down, it disrupts and diverts attention, and it eats resources that could have made the game better. That's an interesting take on it. And there are people that don't like trophies. They don't like achievements. They think they have no business being in games. And then there are those that absolutely love them and that try to 100% the achievements and the trophies in every game that they get. It's all a matter of whether or not you think it's worth putting in the time or not. And certainly there are going to be game developers that don't see the purpose behind it. No one's really right or wrong about this. It's just really up to you whether you think achievements or trophies are worth it or not. Personally, I don't really do achievements and trophies just because I just don't. I just don't. I'm just not up for doing that kind of stuff. But I do know people that love achievements and trophies. KB's one that she will try to platinum a game if she thinks she can do it. Everybody's different. And there's no reason to say that, oh, this is good, but this isn't. Oh, you're right and they're wrong. No, there really isn't. Do I think he's wrong for saying this? No. Do I think it's an unpopular opinion? Probably. But again, it's just an opinion. Next up, Ubisoft has yet again delayed Skull and Bones and has also canceled 3 unannounced games. Now, Skull and Bones, yes, it has been delayed yet again. I believe this is the 6th time this game has been delayed. It was supposed to be coming out in March. Now they're saying it's going to come out in the early fiscal year. Their fiscal year starts in April of this year and will end in March of 2024. Now, I don't know what they mean by early. That could literally mean anything. And I don't know when we're going to get a new release date for it. So this is just going to be one to watch and see. But the fact they had to cancel 3 unannounced games, and they are coming off a year where they had to cancel 4 games, if you recall that. So in the past year, they've canceled 7 games. And all of this comes from the fact that they're struggling right now. Even their holiday releases, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope and Just Dance 2023, they did not meet their expectations. And they're really blaming this on facing major challenges in the industry, continues to shift towards mega brands and long-lasting titles that can reach players across the globe, across platforms and business models. And we have seen that. We have it. It is very hard to start a new IP, for instance. New IPs, they are definitely been more misses than hits lately. And it can hurt a company. Ubisoft, this is probably a big year for them. This is going to be a case where if they can't get themselves out of this, they're either going to be bought out or they're not going to exist anymore. That would be a shame because Ubisoft has made some great games. Hopefully they can get themselves out of this. I don't know. And the fact that Skull and Bones has been delayed yet again, I just don't know when we're going to see this game. I mean, it's been in development for so long. It's gotten delayed so many times. Oh, man. I mean, it's rough right now for Ubisoft. And again, hopefully they can come out on the other side stronger. But I don't know. And our last bit of gaming news, John Smuddy, who was the head of Amazon Games San Diego studio, he has left the studio after being there for 6 years. Now, John is a veteran in the video game industry. He spent 13 years at Sony Online Entertainment, now known as Daybreak Game Company. Worked on games like EverQuest, Star Wars Galaxy, and PlanetSide. And this comes a year after they had their boss step down from the company. Amazon Games been around for a little bit, but hasn't really made that impact that you would think a major company could make on the video game industry. It just hasn't happened. But they did recently announce that they are going to be publishing the next Tomb Raider game. So the next few years for Amazon Games are going to be big, whether they can make an impact in this industry or not. It's very hard to do that, even for a big company. We've seen big companies try to enter the video game industry, just hasn't worked out. It's not like Microsoft or Sony. It's very tough, and if you can't do it the right way, you're not going to make it. So with Amazon, we're going to see what happens. All right, guys, that was the gaming news for this week. Sorry, it was a little rough trying to get back into the swing of things. Hopefully, we'll be better next week, and I'll see you guys next time.